Hi there, folks. Last summer, Google rolled out a pretty major update to their Google Drive interface, and it was an opt in feature, so you didn't see it right away unless you chose to look at the new interface. So, I want to show you some of those changes because on February 17th, Google is going to push out those Google Drive changes to everyone, and there won't be the option of using the older Google Drive interface, which looks like this. So many of you probably have been using Google Drive and stayed with this older interface. You've probably had this banner sitting there staring you in the face, and we kind of get blind to these things, and you might have been ignoring it. You might have even have clicked the X here. But if you're ready to take the plunge into the new Google Drive interface, you can come here and click on Take Me to the new Google Drive. And if you're not seeing this banner, there's also an option to switch over by clicking on the settings icon and then clicking on Experience the new Google Drive. So let's take a look at those changes. You'll have this welcome message when you do go to the new Google Drive, and you can kind of click through some of those changes. One of the big changes is that they've gone to sort of a thumbnail grid view. Another change is that it's no longer called Shared with Me, it's called Incoming Stream. And we'll take a look at all of these things in detail. The first thing I want to focus on is this grid view versus list view. So if I click on this, I can go to the list view, just like you're seeing now, with the folders listed at the top and then my documents. And then I can switch back to grid view. The nice thing about the grid view is that if you are using Google Docs quite a bit, when you click into the various folders, you will see kind of a nicer thumbnail version of the document, and that can be helpful for viewing your documents, previewing your documents, and even kind of knowing what's there, and in many ways seeing some of the changes. The other thing that you'll have is there's this details panel, and that does allow you, if you do a single click on a document, it will show you the activity on that document, any changes that have been made. You can also see where the document is stored and other information about that document by doing a single click on top of the document. The next thing that I want to show you that is a change is that you can now do kind of a multi-select. So I can click and drag across and select multiple documents, and then I could drag them all into a folder. I'm not going to do that right now. I can also use keyboard controls, so I could hold the control key and select these two documents, or I can use the shift key and then go to the end document, and it will highlight all of the documents in between or folders. And so that's handy. Let's say I want to delete two documents at the same time. I can select both of those documents, and then I can hit the delete key, or I can click on the trash can. One of the things that kind of annoys me about Google Drive is that by default you will have your documents sorted by name. And as you use lots of Google Docs, what that means is that the documents with a title with a number in it or letter A at the beginning will be at the top of your list. And then all of your documents with Z's in them will be down at the bottom of your list. Of course, that's not necessarily the highest priority of how we sort our documents. My recommendation is to use last modified as your default sort in Google Drive. So this folder that says TechSmith would have been the last most accessed folder. This document here would have also been the last most accessed document. And so what it does is it prioritizes documents that you're currently working on as opposed to documents that you were using in the past and are not using now. Next, I'd like to show you the changes that are taking place over on the kind of visually taking place over here in the menu. You'll notice that the Create button has been replaced by a New button. When you click on that, you'll have options for creating folders, for uploading files or uploading folders. You'll also see your three main productivity tools, Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides. They've hidden other productivity tools like Google Forms and Google Drawings behind this arrow. And then you do have the option to click on the Connect More apps. There are a number of third-party tools out there that can integrate with your Google Drive if you're interested in that option. The other major change to the Google Drive menu is the incoming folder, which used to be called Shared with Me. So any documents that are coming in from a colleague or students are going to be found in the incoming folder. It's quite a change visually how they're laid out. One of the things that you'll notice though is if you hover over a document, then you'll have the option to download it, add to My Drive, and then also additional actions like opening, sharing, getting a link, and starring or deleting. Now it doesn't delete it from the other person's account, it's just removing it from your incoming folder. I recommend using this Add to My Drive feature for any documents that have been shared with you that you plan to access frequently. So when I do that and I click on the Add to My Drive, I'll be able to put it into any folders for organizational purposes. So I'm going to just leave it in My Drive and then move it to that folder. It will still be found here in the incoming, but now if I go to My Drive, I can find that document easily here. But I'll also be able to see that this document was created by someone else and get those details. It just makes it a little easier for organizing all of your different Google Drive documents. Another thing that I think is pretty important that you'll want to do in the past, if you were uploading a file or document, when you would click on it and you would pick out the document that you wanted to upload, you would then be presented with an option of converting it to a Google Doc or keeping it in its original format. For instance, keeping it as a Microsoft Word document or keeping it as a Microsoft PowerPoint document. Now you have to basically choose to upload one way or the other. And I believe that the majority of users are going to want to convert anything that they're working on in Google Drive into a Google Drive document so that it can be shared, edited, and basically used online. To do that, you do have to go over to the settings icon and click on the settings tab and click the convert uploaded files to Google Docs editor format. Once you've done that, any future documents that you decide to upload to Google Drive, they'll automatically be converted. There's also a kind of a nice feature now when you are uploading documents. You can just drag them in. I'm just going to show you really quickly how that would look. So I'm going to find a Word document here and I'm just going to drag it over and copy it, and it's just going to bring that up. It also says converted, and you can see now it's in the Google Docs format. While there are other additional changes to the Google Drive interface, these are the primary ones that I think everyone needs to know. So remember, you can switch between list view and grid view. You can do a multi-select of documents by highlighting or using keyboard shortcuts. You should change to sort by last modified when you make the change over to the new Google Drive interface. Your shared with me is now called incoming, and you'll want to convert all of your documents into Google Drive documents by going to the settings. And if you needed to change it back, you can always uncheck that temporarily. So I hope this tutorial will help you to get familiar with the new Google Drive interface and prepare you for those changes. Good luck using the new Google Drive interface, and enjoy.